Are you always coming up with ideas? Do you marvel at successful business owners? Do you hate being told what to do? Ever take things apart just to see how they work? Are you a dreamer? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Pro Tapes and Specialties is the world leader in tape manufacturing and specialty conversion with over 40 years of experience. In addition to our pro brand of high-quality specialty adhesive tapes, we provide contract converting services that help improve your profitability, streamline your supply chain, and reduce inventory cost. We offer the most complete range of converting capabilities in the industry, such as cloth tape, double-coated tape, specialty tape, paper tape, masking tape,
vinyl tape, carton sealing tape, adhesive transfer tape, duct tape, foam tape, electrical tape, filament tape, foil tape, reflective tape.
And the tape just keeps on rolling. Visit us online today at www.protapes.com or call us at 800-345-0234. Pro Tapes, it's just how we roll.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Entrepreneur Enclave. Wow. Every time I talk to you, Kevin, I get so excited. I forget what I need to talk about and how I need to introduce myself and introduce the podcast, but that's okay.
Man, you do such a wonderful job at doing this. It's just natural to you now.
Thank you. So listen, this is our third interview. This is part 3. So for this part, man, I really want to talk about your transition and how you do what you do at WBLS.
Well, first of all, let me say I am very honored.
Yes.
And I hope that my words and us discussing things on your podcast have been of value to someone.
Yes.
It is my goal to just serve.
Yes.
And be of value to the community, our community,
yes,
the community of music, and to general life altogether. So I'm hoping that whatever we've done,
yes,
have put something out there to inspire people.
Absolutely.
That's really
well, you have certainly touched my heart and my mind to continue to move in this house music fashion. And you and I, we're going to continue to talk offline because we're going to do some great things together. But I will tell you this, man. I know the other day, the last conversation, we got into this argument about legendary and things of that nature. And I am here to tell you, I heard it again as I was talking to some other brothers in the house music field. They love you, man. You are a legend. You are legendary in this space.
Man, no way I'm legendary. I appreciate the brothers.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Hopefully, like I said, I've inspired them. That's the main thing.
You have certainly inspired all of us, man. So let's move into this space that we call WBLS. How did you make that transition, man?
Okay, so first of all, I grew up on WBLS.
Yes.
Actually, WBLS is 50 years old this year.
Yes.
And I'm 57.
Yes.
So that means that I've been around just as long as that station's been around.
Now, are they doing anything special for their 50th?
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff planned.
Gotcha.
So it is really beyond humbling and an honor to be able to work on those airways. Yes. WBLS is the biggest black radio station in the world.
Wow. In
terms of it's grandfathered in, so those 107.5 can never be anything else but WBLS.
Yes.
That's what grandfather in is. It's like a historical thing for America that will always be a black radio station.
Now, is it black owned?
It's not anymore. Originally, it was black owned. Started by NBC Broadcasting. These people who started this, Basil Patterson and Malcolm X's lawyer.
Got you.
Percy Sutton.
Okay.
And these guys are just historically what they've done for our community, the sacrifice that they've done and the inspiration they've done and the work that they have done in our community needs to be commended. That was Inner City Broadcasting, and that was all black owned.
Yes.
And then over the years, as Mr. Sutton's family transitioned out of the business, the station has been bought several times. Right now, to be honest with you, I'm not really sure who is actually my boss at the station in terms of who owns the station as it goes on.
Wow.
It's really in a business field now where people buy these things just to capitalize on the business for a little while and then they flip it.
Yeah.
That is really how those things go with radio stations. The objective of a radio station is not to play music.
Yes.
The objective of a radio station is to sell advertising space.
Wow.
So the business has changed so much.
Yes.
Because advertising is now done mostly online.
Yes.
Whereas when we were coming up on WBLS, that was one of the few things that we had to do as children. We could always tune into the radio.
Yes, sir.
Now the radio is in competition with so much other things.
Yes.
It's how can I say it? Its value in the space of media is definitely a lot less. Anyway, getting to your question, it wasn't ever a transition. I think what had happened was some people up there that worked at WBLS.
Yes.
And they were interested in trying to get the station to be more about street and community.
Okay.
And at that time, Louis and I had an ongoing party in New York City at a nightclub at Cielo called Roots NYC.
Okay.
And every Wednesday night, we used to have an amazing audience that came through.
Okay.
Anyhow, DJ Marley Marl used to be a friend of ours and would frequent the party.
Okay.
As you know, Marley Marl is a legend for being on WBLS with the Rap Attack, I think it was.
Yeah.
And so he was already working there. And he was talking to one of his bosses, Skip Dillard, and they were interested in adding some DJ stuff on the station that was authentic to the actual sound. And in New York City,
yes,
if you knew anything about house music, you know that Louis Vega, Kevin Hedge are authentic and current.
Yes.
In terms of we were working and we were current. And so as a result of that, Marley and his boss Skip, they made us an offer to come on and possibly do a radio show.
Okay.
They had other DJs on before that, but they didn't have a brand name like when we came. We had a brand name.
Okay.
So that's really where the idea came from. It wasn't something that, we was expecting.
Yes.
Earlier in the years before, I did pitch a radio show to WBLS with it was interesting, man. I built a whole campaign to pitch this radio show to WBLS. At that time, if you remember, what's this music called? It's like the music of Jill Scott and what do they call that music? Neo Soul.
Yeah.
So that Neo Soul sound is really like the sister sound to Soulful House.
Got you.
People usually like Neo Soul, they like Neo House in the same way as other way around.
Yes.
So what I had did was I put together a proposal to produce a radio show that would feature Neo Soul and Soulful House together.
Yes.
Because of that proposal, Marley had it, and he introduced Skip to the proposal. And then Skip says it's something that we think would be nice for the station. We got talking. At that time, I was done with working in Neo Soul because I had just sold my record company.
Yes.
And the only thing we had to work with the radio station was to monetize the actual party, Roots NYC.
Got you.
So that's kind of how it came about.
Got you.
Just born out of, the creator working his magic. That's all.
How long have you been with the station now?
We're in our 15th year now.
What?
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
humble brag. That's got to be the longest house music show anywhere on any radio station in America in terms of terrestrial radio.
And so, what days are you on the air?
We have always been on a Friday,
Yes.
but we've been on at different times over the years.
Okay.
We've been on in prime time for probably 10 of those years.
Okay.
And then when the radio station was sold, again, the new regime came in and decided that they wanted to change the format of the station to 90s R&B.
Oh no! Come on.
And as a result, it pushed our show into overnight.
Okay.
So we come on at midnights on Fridays here at 107.5 WBLS or WBLS.com. And actually, WBLS has an app that you can pick off out of your store, and you can hear us on that app.
Now, when you come on overnight at midnight, are you in the studio at that time?
Sometimes we are.
Okay.
Yes. Sometimes we are. We always in the beginning when we came on at prime time, we were always live in the studio.
Yes.
That was prime time is like 8 to 9, 10 o'clock.
Yes.
But as COVID came in, it became where they didn't want people coming into the station because of COVID. So we started to do the show remotely over the internet.
Gotcha.
And locking into the station there. And then just kind of remain there for the fact that it's easier to do the show from home
yes.
than it is to go into Manhattan every Friday.
Wow, man. That's crazy. 15 years, though. Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that, man. I mean, for someone who grew up on that station,
Yeah.
who idolized Frankie Crocker, for someone who loved New York and New York City and the culture,
yes.
For me, it means a lot to have said that I actually grew up, raised on this radio show, on this radio station.
Yes.
And now to have actually worked there for 15 years, actually have the longest running house music radio show in the world. That's pretty good.
You do this show by yourself, or are you co-hosting, or you have a co-host?
I'm usually the host, and Louis contributes the mix.
Wow.
So it's a mix show. The first hour is me, and the second hour is Louis. I'm usually on the mic.
Okay.
You know, when we first started, house music DJs would not talk on the microphone. If you remember, that was like a no-no.
Yeah.
You was a house music DJ, you don't talk on the mic.
And it's still a no-no, brother.
Well, since I've been on the radio,
okay,
and I've been doing mic work on the radio, you find house music DJs now definitely will crack the mic, so to speak, and talk more than they ever had.
Okay. And so for me, maybe on the radio, that's one thing, but certainly at a party, in a nightclub, oh wow, that cringes me, bro. Oh my God.
Well, it depends on the approach to it too, and what you're doing. Like, no, I'm not on the mic at a club saying, "Come on, let's go, y'all. Put your hands up." I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I may come in with a PSA, discussing maybe something that's going on in the community.
Oh, that's fine.
Just to bring some awareness, or you know, for the most part, it might be somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
So you want to shout those people out.
On the radio format, that's fine. But in a club where for me house music is seamless, I don't want, talk about the birthday at the tables. When we're on the dance floor and the DJ is playing, I don't want to hear that. And if there's a fire, I don't even want to know there's a fire. Flash those lights. We know how to get out. That's just me. Because can you imagine going to Zanzibar or Club 88 and the DJ is, as he or she is in the mix, he's on the microphone talking about we want to give a shout out to somebody on their birthday. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that. You're right.
And the music is
wasn't a part of the culture.
Yeah, and the music is thumping. Somebody said, let's give a shout out to a birthday. No.
Yeah, the music, that's not a part of the culture at all. No. You're right.
Now, my next question, Kevin, since you've been on BLS for 15 years, How have you seen the music change or the culture of house music change, man?
You know, it because the culture of house music is inside a nightclub,
Yes.
and with the lessening of actual nightclubs and dance floors,
Yes.
the culture has now transitioned to more commercial because people are doing these house music events outdoors
Got you. Like festival style.
in
Yes.
the park.
Yes.
So now it's become more commercial to a wider audience
Got you.
because of now. The thing is, we don't know how many people really love house music that come to those events in these parks.
Got you.
However, it does bring people and it does introduce people to the music.
Yes.
So we'll see if it goes from there. But I've seen it change in the fact that it's a bigger awareness
Yes.
on house music. And I'd like to think us being on the station had something to do with that too,
Got you.
bringing a wider awareness to it.
And the other thing I'm also noticing is, we're doing more festivals, and we're getting ready to move into festival space, but we're also doing more day parties because the folks that used to go to the nightclubs, we're older. We don't like to be out late at night.
Yeah, well, we older, so
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
if you love the music and you want to be involved in the music and the culture of it, you're going to do it wherever you can do it at.
Now, Now, Kevin, when you're on the station, do you give a list of festivals that's happening that week or day parties that's happening that weekend?
If I know some,
got you.
Yeah, I will. If I know some and I have the time, I will shout it out for sure.
Got you. Okay. Now, seeing that you're on WBLS, have you seen the industry change in terms of DJs coming in? And do you ever get nervous that that if we don't bring in a younger crowd, that we could lose this culture that we call house music?
No, it brings me to something that I have come to recognize as a music business person,
yes.
so to speak. Really, if you really want to learn more about how to move house music forward,
yes,
you have to look at the jazz market. I mean, house music and jazz is very similar in the fact that music was so popular. Jazz, Coltrane,
yes.
Davis,
yes,
all of that was so very popular at one time.
Yes,
it was everywhere. That was the only music people listened to.
Yes.
And so as jazz continued to go, now you look at the jazz market and it's just festivals, maybe some nightclubs, but the radio stations don't, or how can I say it, mass media does not focus on that music anymore.
Yes.
So I don't think we have to continue to look for a younger audience to keep the music going, because jazz never did that.
Gotcha.
You just keep playing to the audience that you're there, and whoever wants to come in will come in.
Got you. So again, let the matriculation of house music grow organically.
Just be great at doing the business of house music.
Got you.
Like you've seen people be great at doing the business of jazz.
Yes.
You know, we need to study what jazz has done.
Yes.
With its self, and then do that with house music.
Gotcha.
And some of it is happening. You know, jazz moved into the festival world with Newport Jazz Festival,
yes.
the Montauk Jazz Festival, all these different amazing music happenings all over the world that features jazz.
Yes.
So house music, in say, given another 25, 30 years, 40 years, house music could be there.
Got you. Now, and you know, I'm probably asking the wrong person the wrong question. And I know I'm going to get the wrong answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Brother Kevin, you are so humble. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now in this house music industry?
You know, I was just telling somebody this a while ago.
Yes.
When I first got into the industry, I was 17.
Yes.
When I was 17, I never saw myself at 57.
Got you.
So the same thing at 57, I'm not really thinking of what I'm gonna do when I get to be 58.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for where do I see myself in the industry at that point.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just going to do the work that the creator puts in front of me, and wherever that work and that path that the creator has for me, we're gonna take that path.
Yes,
That's all.
yes. Okay, fair enough. And I knew I was going to get an answer like that. Because, brother, you are the humblest man I've ever met. And
I am definitely not the humblest person. I recognize that what I do here on Earth is not anything I'm doing. I have the opportunity to do this because of the creator. And the objective is to be of service.
Yes.
See, the way I think of music, whether I'm the songwriter, producer, the DJ,
yes,
or the radio show, or the nightlife coordinator, I think of it as these ideas and these intellectual ideas are going to come to Earth anyway.
Yes.
And I just happen to be the terminal that they're passing through to get to the universe. The creator is trying to use me to educate people in some kind of way or to affect people in some kind of way. So it's not my work. It's the work of the universe.
Got you. Okay.
And I just happen to be a person that is in between the universe and Earth that this thing can come through.
Okay. Now I'm going.
That's what I think is special.
I want to ask this question. I've been toying around with this question for the past, I want to say 5, 6, 7 hours since you and I talked about trying to do this interview today, man. And I'm going to try to be as gentle as possible as I ask this question. Where would house music be had it never gone mainstream?
I think it'll be just like other music forms that never went mainstream, but they still survived and found their audience.
Okay.
So I think it will still be a thing. May not be as popular as it is, but it will still be a thing. I mean, I'm trying to think of music formats now that exist that we don't pay attention to, but it still have an audience. I mean, when you go on iTunes and you search it on iTunes, you'll see so many different music categories on iTunes that you never even heard of.
Got you.
But they exist. They're on iTunes.
Because the thing, house music was typically, a gay sound coming out of the gay nightclubs.
Well, that's something that you think. But I think the culture of, we got to take it back to what it really is, dance music.
Okay.
Came from a community that was trying to express themselves on an underground way. You remember back in the 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s, men, it was illegal for men to dance with men.
Yes.
That was illegal, as a law. So house music was underground just in the fact that it was dance music and it couldn't be out in the public because it was gay men dancing with gay men.
Yes.
But it didn't come from the gay community, so to speak. I think, the gay community was instrumental in helping it birth. But nobody gay decided, let's do house music. And the artists that started house music weren't gay. They were just people who loved music and wrote and produced songs. I mean, some of the argument of what is the first, how can I say it? The first record that was disco. What is the first disco record? House music was born from disco. Okay. So if we go back to that, what was the first disco record?
I'm quite sure I'm going to mess this up, but I'm going to think it was something by Donna Summers.
No.
No. Okay.
Not either.
Okay.
Now there's arguments, but in the commercial world, or the commercial market, it is wide known that the first dance record, disco style, was Barry White's Untamed Melody.
Wow, I was off. Okay.
Now, Barry definitely was not gay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. And then some argue that, what is this? Eddie Kendrick's Boogie Down Baby
Yeah.
was one of the first For the Floor records
Got you.
that came out. So if you can categorize records that were built for dancing,
Yes.
then it was disco only, but disco came out of R&B.
Yes.
It was R&B first.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to music by Hal Melvin and the Blue Notes featuring Teddy Pendergrass, it could be considered disco, but we never called it disco.
Yes.
Think about that. All that Philly soul music, no one ever called that disco. It was the basic format, production style of disco, but it was never called that.
And
it was soul music.
And at one point, they actually had the Philadelphia sound.
Well, again, this is why I'm saying to you that it was not called disco in the beginning.
Got you.
Just like with everything that the larger community gets a part of, they want to label it so they can sell it.
Got you.
So, when you get a record like Love to Love You, Baby, Donna Summer, that's not your disco record that you know her for.
Okay.
But they needed a label to put on it so they can sell it. That's the way anything goes, even house music.
Got you.
That was the label you put on it so you can sell it. Now today we still call it house music.
My limited research and certainly nowhere near yours is that how house music became commercial was, as I understand, and I may be wrong, Larry Levin would give his playlist to the DJ over at WBLS, and he would make the playlist public, and that's how we became to understand house music.
So what's interesting is you talking about how that transitioned to BLS, and now you're going to discuss the fact that Larry Levan and Frankie Crocker were close friends.
Yes.
And they would share, Larry would share some of the music that he was breaking in the club with Frankie.
Yes.
That would then, Frankie would program on WBLS, the radio station.
Yes.
That's interesting how you started this interview with that, how did I transition? See, the music was already there before I got there.
Yes.
It is true that Larry Levan and Frankie Crocker, Frankie Crocker was a legend in New York radio.
Yes.
On WBLS, an absolute legend. He did frequent nightclubs, not just the Garage, but Studio 54, many of like he did frequent nightclubs, and him and Larry became popular, and he realized the music that Larry played at the Garage was different than what he was hearing on a wider scale.
Yes.
So he started to program some of that street music that Larry was playing.
Yes.
On the station and made it popular.
Yeah.
But again, when you call it disco, disco is a name that was given to this music by the mass marketers who wanted to be able to do exactly what they were able to do, sell it.
Yes. Gotcha.
All across, even if you check out one of those Bee Gees documentaries, when they were doing Saturday Night Fever, they never called their music disco.
Yeah.
But it was disco to the mass market.
Mm-hmm.
If you, it's interesting, where did the culture of disco come from? This is what I would like our community to do.
Yeah.
I mean, even my black community. I'd like for y'all to become way more educated on the origin of this thing you call house. Because if you did, then you'd take it more seriously. And then every time you started to do it, you would know that you were part of something bigger than yourself.
Yes.
So every night when I'm on BLS, I understand that I'm a part of something that's bigger than myself.
Yes.
Disco and the culture of disco came out of a movement in the 60s that was in London called the modernist movement.
Okay.
And these people would get together in nightclubs in the evening. These were young people in the 60s, in their 20s. They would get together and dress up and go out and dance all night long.
Got you. Okay.
That was their thing. But they never called it disco when they were doing it. It was called modernist.
Got you.
And after that movement continued, it eventually spread to the East Shores, where you had some originators who were doing those same kind of modernist parties in small clubs here in America.
Yes.
Now, your music that you promote, house music, the first people to really do that kind of music was a DJ, Nicky Ciano.
Yes.
And I can't think of the other guy's name, but he used to do a club called The Loft.
Yeah.
David Mancuso.
Mm-hmm.
They were throwing parties in their house.
Yes.
Literally in their house. Same way that they was doing it in the UK, and it was a modernist movement. The people that they invited to their house for these parties were outcasts of communities,
Gotcha.
like
Mm-hmm.
gay people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as a result, that's why some people think that this music is based on being gay. It was not based on being gay. It came out of something that was hip. It was about being a hipster.
Gotcha.
You was in the disco, you was into being hip. And then, of course, when Donna Summer came around and all that, they started to understand how to market it. And so then she wrote a lot of great songs, and they became hits on the radio. Donna Summer was pop music, really.
Wow.
Her music was pop. Think about this. If you go back into the larger community culture, who in our time is a legendary artist from the larger culture? I mean, this woman is legendary till today. Absolutely legendary.
From the larger community.
I don't want to say white community, but you know what I'm saying.
Go ahead and say it, man.
In the white community,
Yeah.
who is female artists have been around for years, acting and singing and on Broadway. She's a legend. She's like the biggest one out there.
I'm going to mess this up. Probably Dolly Parton.
No.
Or Bette Midler.
Dolly never did.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Dolly never did stage, Broadway or nothing.
Yeah.
This woman was on Broadway in movies. And she recorded, and they flipped her to record black music. And she, just so you can know how big Donna Summer was, she did a duet with Donna Summer. That was a hit record.
Oh man, my brain is all over the place. I'm going to say Anne Margaret.
So again, when you're gonna come and talk to me, when you say you want to do these interviews,
yes, sir.
I pride myself on being able to really go there.
Yeah, and
I don't
thank you.
This music is not just what I do. I'm not doing it to become popular at it.
Yes.
I'm not doing it to become well known and famous.
Yes.
I do it because I absolutely love it.
Yes, sir.
Every aspect of it, the history. So the young lady who they chose to do a duet with Donna Summer at that time, when Donna was at her height,
yes,
was Barbara Streisand.
Yes.
Barbara Streisand is the biggest in that white community that you can reach.
You're right. Yes.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Barbara Streisand was doing a disco record with Donna Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Then, after Barry Gibb and his brothers, the Bee Gees,
yes,
had their $75 million album sold with Saturday Night Fever, Barry Gibb wrote records for Donna Summer, and this music was primarily engineered toward the music that the Gibbs brothers did primarily was engineered for a black community.
Yes.
Reese Martin was the original producer, and Barry Gibb wrote a song called Guilty. Who recorded Guilty? Barbra Streisand.
Wow.
So when you talk about this music, this disco music,
yes,
now I got to get loud on you. Don't come talk to me about those shallow BS. Y'all better know y'all history.
Yeah.
You better know the roots and the culture of this thing.
Yes.
You need to understand that it's bigger than Justin Miles.
Yes.
Y'all paying this 17-year-old to come play at your parties. He has no idea what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Where this music came from.
Yes. So, but
now it's up to you to carry that message to your community when you throw your outdoor event and you bring all these DJs to come and play. I don't get out of my bed in the morning just so I can do this thing and make money. I get out of my bed in the morning for my purpose.
Yes.
And I believe a large part of my purpose was to be in this community. So that's what I think about myself.
You're opening some deep conversations, man. So I guess my next question is, everybody's always saying that house is a feeling, right? Can a young DJ feel this music? Or I think
so. I think, just like, as kids coming up,
okay,
we felt the music of our parents. If you like, even when we were young, I mean, the music of our parents was Motown.
Yes.
We still like that music too. But that wasn't our music.
Yeah.
It wasn't directly our culture. This is the thing that I talk to a young guy like Miles, is I'll say to him, so what is the music of your peer group?
Mm-hmm.
Do you play that, or are you just playing house? Or like, what is the purpose for you playing this kind of music?
Mm-hmm.
I believe it has a purpose. Just like, when you asked me to come DJ, or somebody that we were talking to who knew you said,
yeah,
they'd like to bring me to DJ. I'm asking. It's not about how much you can pay me. It's about, why would you want me to come DJ at your party?
Yes.
What is the purpose of me being there? And if you got a good purpose, then yeah, it's not about the money.
Okay.
It's really about the mission. We're on a mission. So for any young DJ coming into it, I just want them to be serious about it and really love the art form of the music. Not just playing because they see somebody that's, play a record that the crowd was dancing to. Now they want to play that record because it makes it, and then because, quote unquote, he's a phenomenon and he's younger than us, then we glorify him.
Yes.
To be honest with you, you just heard me say earlier, I've been doing this thing professionally.
Yes.
Since I was 17 years old.
Absolutely.
I started get into music when I was 11 and 12.
Yes.
I've been knowing I wanted to do this same thing that I've done for the last 40 years. I've been knowing I wanted to do that since I was 10, 11, 12 years old.
Yes.
My first major influence in my life is Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay, got you.
Okay, so that All in All album, that album would have never been made, I would not have a music career.
Okay.
That has influenced my whole music life.
Okay.
All in All, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I would wonder what he would say. What record inspired you enough to want to do this thing? Not doing it because you've seen people clapping for you, or you got old people willing to pay you to come DJ. What makes you want to do it? I'm always going to tell you, man, if it wasn't for Maurice White, I might not have ever been born.
Wow.
This
Gotcha.
guy is like my father before I even knew he was my father.
Okay.
So then you go and you want to study. For me, the study is to study Maurice White now and the
Okay.
purpose of Earth, Wind, and Fire. And then when you start learning more about that, you learn about, through learning about Maurice White and the music of Earth, Wind, and Fire, I learned more about myself,
Okay.
even down to their metaphysical, spiritual aspect of their music,
Yes.
has informed the music of Blaze over the years. The songs that I've written exist because of he was my dad.
Got you.
Not literally my dad.
I
Please,
understand.
people.
No, no.
You got people who might not understand what we're talking about.
No, I got you.
But, you know, in a sense, when I'm talking to any one of these young DJs, or any DJ, why you want to do this? Why do you want to DJ? Because you can afford to get the controller? See, that's another thing that's wrong, because now the entry fee to becoming a DJ is way cheaper than it was 40, 50 years ago when I first got started.
True. True.
You know, kids out here paying $200 for a controller and they're not a DJ.
Yeah.
You got kids DJing off their iPad.
Yeah.
All this is low entry fee, so it allows for more people to be in it. I, for one, have never not liked more people coming into it, because the more people meant the more things can get created, the more art can get created. However, what I am skeptical of, sometimes the more people can do it, there's no filter.
Yeah.
So what I mean by no filter is now, like, guys are doing these. When I first started working with the Lincoln Park Music Festival, we were the filter. We only was going to let things show up that day that we thought were excellent,
Yes.
was the best that the culture had to offer.
Yes.
But now you got everybody from all over doing festivals, because the entry fee is so low.
Yes.
It's jeopardizing the quality,
Mm-hmm.
because anybody can do it now.
Mm-hmm.
So you got DJs putting together festivals just so they can DJ,
Mm-hmm.
because they wouldn't get no other opportunity to DJ if they didn't create that festival. So this is why, if Kevin Worth called me and said, "Kev, man, I want you to come DJ at my festival,"
Yes.
I'm going to say, you need to have a purpose. Why would you want me?
Yes.
I might start off as, my fee is $10,000.
Yes.
That's to let you go away immediately.
I got you.
First thing you're going to say is, no, that's too much.
Yeah, got you.
And then you're going to go talk behind my back. Yo, he asked me for two. See, I already know how this thing go down.
Yeah, yeah.
Just by the fact that you got scared away by the number,
Mm-hmm.
lets me know that you weren't serious about really understanding what I do.
Yes. I got you.
You're not bringing a DJ. You're bringing somebody that does this for its purpose.
Yes.
It's my life.
Yes.
Can't put a price on that.
Understood. Understood.
So I'm sorry. You always get me on these things.
Listen, no, don't be sorry. I thank you, man, because I am hearing this more often than not. And again, as I said to you in the beginning, I talk to so many DJs now because I'm trying to get them on the platform so we can share their story. And everybody knows you, man. And so you are doing wonderful work out here.
I don't know if they know me, guys. I could just, but I've been around for a long time. That's why they might know me.
Okay.
I've had, I've really had an amazing life. I've had an amazing life. I've had a blessed career.
Yes.
I graduated Science High in 1983.
Yes.
I was 17 years old. First record that we worked on came out in 1984. It was called Private Possessions. with Hunter Hayes. Are You With It? That's the first professional record I ever worked on. So I was 17.
Wow.
I graduated Science High at 17. By 17, I was already making records. And that is the absolute only job I've ever had.
Wow. Wow.
See, that's another difference between me and maybe some of the DJs who you know that you care about, who do this. It's for them, it's a hobby. For me, it's my life.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so real serious about it.
And I'm meeting both. I'm meeting the hobbyists, and I'm meeting the guy who this is their career, this is their life, this is their livelihood. Yeah, I'm getting that. Yeah,
and I don't DJ at weddings. You carrying a wedding stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this is my career is doing weddings.
Yeah, no, I got you. I guess the next question is always the typical question, right? How do people get involved in this industry? How would someone go about getting involved in this industry?
That's easy, man.
Okay.
You become a student.
Got you.
Become a student.
Got you.
That's it.
Okay.
What I mean by that is you start looking at the people that inspired you to want to be in this industry.
Yes.
Try to learn their story.
Yes.
And that will teach you how to get involved in it.
Yes.
But you got to be a student. That's number one. When I first came in, I was a kid. Like I told you, I've been wanting to do this since I was 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first records, when I was a kid, I used to pass by this record store in my area in Newark. It was called Buddy's Hilltop Records.
Okay.
Every day my mother would give me $2 to buy lunch at school, right?
Okay.
That's when you had to go to school. And then for some reason I didn't eat the school lunch. So
Yes.
she would give me $2 to get lunch at school.
Yes.
And I would take my $1.25 and go buy a 7-inch record every day.
Wow.
Of the week. I would buy another record. And see, I was buying the music then. I was not buying the scene.
Yes.
So every day I bought a different 7-inch. That's when they used to make 7 inches.
Yes.
7-inch record of whatever music I heard on WBLS. Literally, I would go buy that record.
Got you.
But I'm sacrificing eating now to buy those music records. And so now I'm way younger than some of these DJs you talk about now. What are they sacrificing for this?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So as a result of me going to the record store every day, listening to the radio, finding out about new artists, that was becoming a student.
Got you. Now
and then
during the process, did you ever pick up a mentor along the way? Someone to give you deeper guidance?
You know, to tell you the truth, I'm looking back now.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
My mentors were always from my imagination of who I thought they were.
Got you. Okay.
Like my mentor was like a Larry Levan.
Got you.
And it was based on, not that I knew him and he told me anything, it was based on me educate myself to try to think of what he was doing. Like when you start getting up in the thing, you start looking at the records, and back then they had physical records with labels, and on those labels you would see mixed by Larry Levan.
Yes.
Remixed by Larry Levan. And so I wanted to know, because I know how to mix records together, right? I got 2 turntables. What did it mean that he did the mix? And then I found out that mixing was actually a studio post-production thing.
Mm-hmm.
So at the age of 13, 14, I started to intern at a recording studio in Newark, New Jersey. I interned there for a year.
Yes.
From like 14 till I was about 15.
Okay.
And Then they brought me on as an assistant cleanup boy. I was the cleanup boy actually at the studio, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And I worked there until I graduated high school. After high school, I got a scholarship to go to DeVry University.
Yes.
Because I had a 1400 on the SAT. And they thought, oh, wow, let's give this guy a scholarship to come to DeVry. And I went to DeVry to become an electrical engineer. Because that had something to do with the music business.
Yes.
In fact, when they recruited me to go to DeVry, they showed me a video with a young lady sitting in a recording studio saying that if you come to DeVry to become an electrical engineer, you could be involved with working in this field. And that was one of the fields, being someone working in a recording studio, fixing, I guess, equipment or design. I don't know. And the young lady was black.
Okay.
And so that made me choose DeVry. Because at first I was thinking of going to Institute of Audio Research in New York.
Okay.
But when I saw that, and it was going to be a free ride, I took the DeVry because it was free. And DeVry was in New Jersey at that time in the Woodbridge area.
Okay. Yeah.
And back when I went to DeVry, you couldn't graduate with a degree from DeVry. You could only get an AS degree from DeVry.
Got you.
And then if you wanted to go on to get your bachelor's degree, you had to go to DeVry in a different state.
Got you.
To finish up your degree and get a bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm.
So while I've had amazing career, think about this. When I was at DeVry, Bill Gates used to come to DeVry to try to recruit people to program.
Wow.
Right. Him, like the real Bill Gates.
Yeah.
He came, he met all of us. He was looking for people that wanted to become computer programmers.
Yes.
And obviously, if you went to back then, he was just starting with Microsoft.
Yes.
Can you imagine if you would have went to work for them then?
Where would you be now?
Right. Well, financially, right.
I wouldn't even have access to you now, bro.
Oh, yeah, you would, because I would have been doing this, what I do.
Got you.
See, it wasn't meant for me to do that.
Yes.
It was meant for me to do this. But all in all, I'm just saying to you that I love the music.
Yes.
I love the culture. So to get into it, you have to be a student of it, and you have to be sure, because it's a lot of sacrifices.
Oh, yes.
So you got to be sure.
Oh, yes.
You got to be sure. You know, when I got up a little older, after I started recording when I was 17, I got to about 18, 19, then we started to really have some real hits coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And then major labels started offering us opportunities to work for them.
What was your first major hit where you says, wow, this is cool?
Oh, man. I think If You Should Need a Friend.
Okay.
If You Should Need a Friend that's your, what they call sophomore record.
Yeah.
And for that to have hit meant that we had the real opportunity to be in the music business.
Wow.
You know, before I got into the music business, I know everybody was either going to college
mm-hmm.
or they were going to do whatever they were going to do in life.
Mm-hmm. I remember that song.
So I signed up to go to the Marine Corps.
Okay.
But when they told me that, you know, the oldest that you could be was 27.
Yes.
To become a Marine.
Yes.
So now, being 18 now, I knew I had the next 8-9 years before I needed to make a real decision about becoming a Marine.
I can wait.
Man, I used to be on my knees on the side of my bed asking God to let me be successful in this business.
Yes.
So that I wouldn't have to go to Marine Corps.
Yes.
And look what happened.
Yeah.
Look at what happened. That is amazing to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, what is amazing is when you look at my yearbook, the other year I graduated in Science High, and me being a senior, they had the little caption where they talk about me. and it talks about that I'm going to have a career in audio engineering.
Wow.
So I had to be, what, 16, 17 then?
Yeah, 16, 17, yeah. Your senior year, yeah.
And it actually happened.
Yeah.
Think about that. That was me saying it to the universe when I was 16. 40 years later?
Yeah.
40 years later.
Yeah.
That is, now you're going to take me somewhere else. 40 years later, we actually can say that that's what happened.
Yeah.
How many people can say that?
Not many.
This is why I know I'm blessed.
Yeah, not many. Now,
I have lived my dreams.
Kevin, when you did your first overseas trip, how
was 1987, 1987 into 88.
And how was
that? It was amazing, man. You know, when you're young and you want to do this, you don't think about the rest of the world. You only heard about London, England through Prince Charles was getting married to Diana. That's how you found out about London. You remember the royal wedding was the big thing when we was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought I would actually go to England.
Yes.
Didn't even really want to go to England.
Gotcha.
Not that really curious about it. However, when the opportunity came up, I'm like, wow, they're going to bring us to London, England?
Yes.
Now you've grown up in high school and you've learned world history and you know what London means to the world.
Yes.
So you all that comes back and you want to go and see, you know, the London Bridge. You want to see Westminster Abbey. You want to see Big Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I am, 20?
Okay.
And I'm going to have an opportunity to go really see the Thames River.
Yes.
And then from London, we flew into Italy.
Yes.
We went to Rome. And we did a party in Rome called Devotion.
Okay.
Now I'm going back to 1987.
Yes.
And then from Rome, we went to Cannes, south of France.
Yes.
Where they do the Cannes Film Festival.
Yes.
We went there for a music festival. It was called Meet-Am.
Okay.
Like a music business convention. And then we flew back from Meet-Am back into England. And then we flew home.
And so all these venues that you've gone to at that time, they were receptive to you and your music?
But house music was breaking big around the world at that time.
Got you.
And because we were some of the pioneers, I guess, at that time.
Yes.
We had, like, Whatcha Gonna Do for Love, If You Should Need a Friend was already popular records over there.
Got you.
So they was bringing the artists that sang the record. That was it.
Wow. Now let me ask a personal question. So when you're traveling like that, they're paying for everything?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they, paying travel and lodging.
Yeah.
And then whatever work you do, you get paid for that too.
Wow, that's all right, man. That's all right.
Yeah, our first time into London, I think we did about 9 remixes while we were there. It worked that's interesting. You go to the UK and now you're going to go work in a recording studio.
Yes.
In the UK. Whoever thought my life would be that?
Yes. Wow.
We actually met Will Downing.
Okay.
Over there that year. He was over there with us. We worked on a record he did with Meet Your Paris.
Okay.
And so when I speak, Will is from New Jersey.
Yeah.
When I speak to him, it's always remember when we met when we was kids in England.
Yes.
Like literally you're kids. You're 20 years old.
Wow.
You know nothing about the world. You think you do.
Yes.
But you know nothing, man.
Yes.
And here now you're over here working as a professional.
Yes. I love it.
And you in London, England, like somewhere that your mother and father could never even imagine seeing.
Yes.
Think about the ancestors. I'm thinking when I'm in London, I'm at Tower Bridge and I'm thinking about my ancestors who were slaves,
Yes.
who their whole life was devoted to make sure that I was okay.
Yes.
They never even dreamt about going to London. They never dreamt about going to France.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't even on their radar.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't even a reality to their life.
Yes.
Now, their great grandson or their grandson, their son,
Mm-hmm.
is actually in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
That is a dream, man. That is
Yeah.
really. I'm sorry, you getting me going there, but this is why I'm saying, man, y'all got to take this thing serious.
Yes.
None of this. Just throw these things together and let's go. It's got to be something for real.
Now,
I wish people could really hear this interview
no,
so they can really know what
listen,
I'm about.
Once we get it all together, man, they're going to hear. We're going to share it over and over and over again, man.
Yes, really. I
Because
them to know what.
I want folks to know who you are. But for the the original reason as to why we came together, because we wanted to talk about creating the larger collective, right? And just getting back
Yes, sir.
to owning our own, right? And really promoting and holding on to what we enjoy, what we're passionate about.
That's
So,
what made me pick up the phone for you.
yeah,
Yes.
and I thank
You
you,
was
man.
talking.
Yeah.
You was not talking about hiring me to DJ at your party.
Yeah.
You were talking about something that was
Yeah.
about building something.
Exactly. And guess what? That mission is still moving forward. I've got some meetings coming up in the next couple of days. I want to keep you posted on that too, man. Because we want to bring that to fruition. Because that and I think in the last episode, the second interview, we talked about having the business meet the creative side, right? And we need more. And you mentioned having more business people in the creative side of this thing called house.
Right.
And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring the business side so that at the end of the day, there's a stronger collective, that we own something.
There you go.
You know, because as you talk about, right, we've got DJs who've been in this space, 30, 40, 50 years, but they don't have anything to show for it.
They have no equity.
And it just becomes strictly, ego, what you do that night, whatever you charge that night. But if you've got this big name, what have you done for the overall community? Have you used your name, your strength, your recognition to galvanize, to get us all to come together? And we haven't done that yet, man.
Have you actually worked to push the whole culture forward?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that my work over these last 40 years have pushed the culture forward.
Well, I mean,
that's what I'm hoping.
You have that. That's what brings us to this point. And so now together, perhaps you and I can encourage some other folks to come with us to the next level.
Hey, man, I'm willing to work with whoever's.
Yes, sir.
For real. You can hear it. I'm real serious about this.
Yeah, no, I am too, man. I am too.
But I'm talking about just working in this business.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what brings us together. But listen, we're gonna do this because we don't want to make this an immediate part 4. But I just want to give you the time that we have left, because we can take as much time as we want. But I just wanted to give you the opportunity to give your final thoughts, a final shout out, and then we can just keep this thing going, man. Because I want to go ahead and get this thing together so I can release it, man.
Well, my final thought is thank you.
Yes.
That's my very final thought.
Yes.
I'm not shouting out nobody but the ancestors.
Okay.
The people that's brought us here today. This is the people we do it for.
Yes.
When you go back in the history of black people in America, think about, like we were talking earlier, your great, 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 great grandfather who was a slave, born and raised in slavery.
Yes.
Never had no hope to get out of slavery. The only thing they were trying to do was survive so that children could have the opportunity.
Yes.
We were enslaved in this country over 400 years.
Yes.
Think about those original Africans who were brought here in chattel slavery. Think about after 20, 30 years, the original descendants of those original Africans who were born into slavery and died in slavery.
Yes.
What was their purpose?
Yes.
Their purpose was to survive so that their children could survive.
Yes.
We them children.
Yes.
What we gonna do with this now?
Yes.
I put that into my music.
Understood.
So
Well,
I have to say thank you for the opportunity. That's it.
no, brother, thank you. And I'm gonna circle back around. What was your greatest song written that you've done?
You know, man, I used to say I haven't done it yet.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, I don't know if I'm get the opportunity to actually write again. I mean, I guess it's on me whether I do it or not. If
Yes.
I have to be inspired to do it. The most important Blaze record is Found Love.
Okay.
That's the most important Blaze record. People gonna say, well, why? Because it is the culmination of everything we learned musically
Okay.
over the 25 years or so before that
Yes.
record came out. So that was the mixture of songwriting and production. Right there, that's when we were at our best.
Okay.
In that song.
Okay.
It's only one song called Found Love.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bossa nova record.
Okay.
And it's not like a house record that you would think. But that's what makes it special, because it's not what you would think it would be. And it still works at the dance music level.
Yes.
That's number one.
Okay.
So, I mean, your community and the people that's a part of your community, I just want them to really know that they're part of something bigger.
Yes.
And even to extend that idea. You know, it's funny, I had a guitar player who was playing in my band at one time. He said, you know, they didn't bring us here to be playing guitar and singing on stage. I didn't get what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't bring us here for that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? Now, they brought you here to pick that cotton.
Yeah.
So all this, what you're doing now,
yeah,
it's a blessing.
it's extra. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a blessing, because
Yes.
you wasn't supposed to be doing. They didn't bring you here to do this.
Yes. Yes.
So, again, like I said, this is serious.
Absolutely.
You know, when you come to a house music party, it's supposed to be a good time.
Yes.
It's supposed to be lighthearted. But the people who work in this, I won't light a fire to them.
Yes.
You better have your ducks in order if you're gonna come mess with me,
Yes, sir.
because I'm not an electrician and I DJ on the weekend.
Yes.
This is what I've done to eat for the last 40 years.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's really how I think about it.
Understood. Understood. Brother Kevin, you have been
Yes, sir.
phenomenal, man. Thank you.
Well, I don't know if it's
Thank
phenomenal, man, but I've enjoyed the conversation.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I hope that it will help somebody.
Yes.
That's really what I hope.
Yes.
And I'm just grateful, man. Just the gratitude is there. Thank you, Brother Kev.
Listen, we're going to stay connected because we got to move the community forward.
I'm down for that, bro.
All right,
I'm
brother.
down for that. Yes, sir.
Let's talk and text soon, man.
All
All
right.
right. Peace, man. Thanks.
That concludes another episode of The Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. We hope you found this episode informative and enlightening. If you have any questions or comments about any of our episodes, please call 609-731-9311 or email kevin@minding-our-business.com. We look forward to joining us for our next one. Until next time.